Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the area of JIIB. Acha, now we're talking about AFM. The series is going on, but before I set further my class, there is a very, very important announcement, everyone. Uh, Regarding that announcement, the most important thing is please share our session. These sessions are super important that I'm taking up. I am taking up various classes. I am taking up the various series. Over the period of time, I've collected a good number of questions for the JIIB, the new syllabus as well, right? The old syllabus is already covered a lot. So, first request is please share this session. And now let me show you what exactly I wanted to tell you. So if you haven't shared or liked this session, first of all, please share it and like it. The most important thing that I'm going to let you know today is we are offering you Sabse Saste 5 Din. What does it mean? You are getting 5 days, which are at this point of time, this is by far the lowest price I've ever seen ever since I've joined Adda. Right, I've been associated with the area of JIP from quite a long time now, but now we are not coming up no more with an 81% sale. Right now, if you can see it on the website, obviously everybody waits that at one point of time I should buy the courses, right? It is something which affects anybody, that what is the price that I should pay. What if I tell you at this point of time the price that you're going to get is the lowest ever? You're looking forward towards JIB and CIB? Go on to this area. Go on to the area of buy now. Use the code Y541. If you're using the company code, you get around 82%. If you're using the code Y541, you will get a discount. Uh, you will get a discount of 84%. Till now, all I could give you through my code was 81%. Right now, you can get up to 85%. And that too, this is not the limit. If you are using our website, then it is 84%. And what if you are not using our website? If you are using our app, then it can go up to an amount of 85%. Additional 1% discount is available if you are using the app. So that means you can buy it at less than 9500, right? 9598, at least if you add 1% more, probably 100 rupees at least would be going down. So technically you will get entire JIB, entire CIB. That means you don't even have to pay a single penny after you have got this for the next 2 years, everyone. And then probably if I talk about the average is 10,000, roughly 10,000 for 2 years. That means per year it is less than 5,000. You know, so it's around 5,000. Think about every single month. How much money are you paying? 500, 600, and that's it. So overall, if I look at this particular scenario, this is what I was talking about. Sabse saste 5 din. So if you haven't taken up our courses yet, then kindly go ahead and punch it right away. Go ahead and enroll in the courses because this price drop will never come again, right? So till now, though, there is only one point that this is by far the lowest that is coming up. So please go ahead and enroll yourself in these particular courses in these 5 days itself, because if you buy it at the lowest price right now, after this the price might rise again. Then again, the sale is definitely ending soon. So if you want to buy, then go ahead and buy as early as possible. So this is the most important announcement. So I hope this particular session will be definitely important, and at the same time you will be able to enroll yourself in time, right? Acha, now let's begin with the session as well, everyone. I've talked about the most important thing for the day. Now coming back to our topic that we were discussing today. What's the topic that I'm going to talk today is we were talking about company accounts. So today's session, it's going to be a blend of theory as well as practical. I'm going to talk about the area of um, oversubscription, under subscription. Then we'll be talking about the area of the overall accounting system. Okay, we'll be talking about how they are exactly working. Now let's talk about the area. Which one of the following is not a feature of joint stock company now? Acha, now we're talking about present. It has an independent legal status. Then common seal is mandatory to be affixed on all important documents. Members' liability is limited. And the last one is it is perpetual succession. When we talk about joint stock company, which feature is not anymore available? Oh, there's only one specific feature which is no more available. Now the common seal has been removed. There is no need to use common seal. Earlier it was there was a requirement to use common seal. Now it is not there anymore. Okay. So common seal is mandatory to be affixed on all important documents. Then, acha, Food Corporation of India is an example of. Okay, I think in May attempt only, I had seen one particular question coming up, and I think even in the November attempt as well, they had actually asked a question regarding these things. They had given the example of East India Company, the company which was working under Britishers, which had enslaved India for more than 200 years, right? So when we talk about Food Corporation of India, what is it? That was a particular question regarding that. East India Company was a chartered company, a company which was made under the Queen. And the when these companies are made under the name of the Queen, at that point of time, the Queen had a charter through which the companies would work. So that's why they are called chartered companies. Any company which is made at the time of Queen, they were called chartered companies. And yes, they are still legal because once the company is formed in any Companies Act, present 2013 or any previous act, which if the particular company was registered, it is a legal company. Statutory, chartered, private, or holding company. FCI is basically an organization which is a statutory company. It is required by the statute. Statute means statutory company means it is required by the law, right? Next, when can a company issue equity shares at a discount? How can we issue the equity shares at a discount? If the company has not begun commercial production, if the company is in loss for the last 3 years, if the shares are issued to its own staff, or if the shares are issued as sweat equity. What can a company issue? When can a company issue equity shares at a discount, everyone? When we talk about a company issuing shares at a discount, वैसे तो in actual the companies are not allowed to share any kind of they are not allowed to issue any kind of shares at a discount, but only one kind of shares. That is, if the shares are issued as sweat equity. Sweat equity, I've always thought of, there was a specific way of learning it now. This is the only a share which is allowed to be issued at a discount. Matlab, if the value of the share is 100, since sweat equity is given to the directors of the company or the people who had given years of their service to the organization. So you can say this is खून पसीने की कमाई. मतलब sweat is basically your pasina, matlab, or we can say if we talk about sweat is what you put hard work into it and then you perspire again, right? You are putting so much of hard work, or during the summers we have this. So sweat is what? Because you are putting a lot of hard work, that's why you are getting it. That's why we define if the shares are issued as sweat equity. If the shares are issued as a sweat equity, they are covered in this region. Now, this is actually a question from the book itself, IIPF Macmillan book. Now look at the question. A company can forfeit the share already issued in which of the following situations? When a shareholder became insolvent, when the company is under liquidation, when a shareholder does not pay dues on the shares which he holds, or shares once issued cannot be forfeited. Why? Why won't they be forfeited? What do you mean by forfeiture? There you were asking a particular person to pay you the amount. Basically, you issued shares and you ask the shareholders ki sir, ma'am, you are supposed to pay an amount of 100 rupees from your side, overall total. Then maybe normally the share is of rupees 10, but I'm taking it as rupees 100 there. And out of this 100, the first people, it was divided into different installments. Installment number 1, installment number 2, which was 30, installment number 3, which was 20, and installment number 4, which was say 30 again, है ना? So technically, the person paid this one and this one, but he didn't pay the third one. We constantly called him ki you are supposed to pay, you are supposed to pay, why are not paying? X, Y, Z, we kept on saying so, but the person didn't pay. So the third one, the person didn't pay. So at this point of time, company has two options. Either the company keeps on asking him, ki, sir, pay me, or the company says, this is it, we are forfeiting your share. I think you do not have any intention to keep this share, so we take the share away from him. So in this case, what will happen? When a shareholder does not pay the dues on the share which he holds, the company decides to remove or scrap off his name from the company's shareholders. Though this particular concept used to exist before the demat accounts, after the demat accounts have been introduced, if you are supposed to buy a share at rupees 100, then you are supposed to pay the entire amount together. So that means there is no trouble in terms of the payments there, right? So in this case, when a shareholder does not pay dues on the share which he holds. Anyhow, here comes the next question. Which one of the following statements is correct about minimum capital up to minimum paid up capital of a company? It is rupees 1 lakh for private, then 10 lakh for public, 5 lakh for private, or no minimum paid up capital. Earlier, this was there. Basically, in actual, it was stated that private are supposed to keep minimum 1 lakh and the public was supposed to keep 5 lakh. But when the 2013, the Companies Act 2013 came up, it seriously just came up and said there is no minimum paid up capital which is prescribed. That means if you want to start a private company, you can start it. You want to start a government company, that means you want, sorry, not a government company. You want to make up a public company, a company in which public can invest, then that is something that is also allowed to you. Okay, so in this case, no minimum paid up capital is prescribed. That is also there. There is no minimum. Whatever you want to start with, you start with it. When forfeited shares are reissued, the amount of discount allowed on these shares cannot exceed 10% of the called up per share or 6% of the paid up capital per share, the amount received per share on forfeited shares, or the unpaid amount per share on forfeited share. When forfeited shares are reissued. Acha, what happens is we ask a particular person, sir, your amount is due, your amount is due. So his calls were in arrear. He was supposed to pay, but he didn't pay the entire amount. He was constantly having a calls in arrears. Then we decided this is where we end our relationship and he is no more our shareholder. So now we scrap off his name and then we have forfeited shares. So if we have forfeited shares, what is the next thing that we'll do? If we have forfeited shares, 10% of the called up capital per share, 6% of the paid up capital per share, the amount received per share on forfeited share or unpaid amount. Basically, now, if the shares are reissued, we'll be asking for the remaining amount. If the share was total of rupees 100 and the person had paid 20 and 30 and he didn't pay the next 20 and next 30, so technically when we issue the share, we'll issue for this remaining unpaid amount so that we get the amount, because already we have actually we have confiscated half of the money of this share already, and for the new person we can issue at a lower price and we can say ki from the previous owner I had already received 50, you pay me the remaining amount and the share would be yours. So they could get the share at a price which is a little lower. So in this case, that would be the amount received per share on the forfeited shares. Chaliye. Now, talking about the next point. Here comes a specific question, everyone. The following amounts were payable on issue of shares by a company. Application was 3, allotment was 3, first call 2, final call 2. X is someone who is holding 500 shares, paid only application and allotment. Matlab he has paid this and this. है ना? This is for X. While if I talk about Y, he holds 400 shares and he did not pay the final call. He did not pay this call. So in this case, the answer would be the remaining 4 rupees here. And in this case, what will happen? That is 3, 3 and 2. 3, 3, 6, 6, 7, 8. Overall, 8. You know? So in this case, it's going to be 5 fours are 20. 2000 rupees was left on the part of X, and overall 3200 rupees were left in the hands of B. Sorry, this is your X now, and this is your Y. So X and Y both are supposed to pay. So X has to give 2000 and the Y has to give the remain. He was supposed to pay the arrears. This is the paid up that I'm talking about. I'm really sorry. The amount which is unpaid was 4 rupees for X, and for Y it should be, he didn't pay the last call now. So then he's supposed to pay the last 2 rupees. So in this case, 2000 from this side and 800 from this side. So it's gonna be overall 2800 rupees that is in arrears. Arrears means the amount which is still pending. Rajan Limited issued 50,000 shares at a price lower than the nominal value of the share. The shares issued are called sweat equity, redeemable preference shares, equity shares, or bonus shares. What's going to be the amount? Someone has issued 50,000 at lower than the nominal value. Normally, you're not allowed to issue lower than the nominal value amount. So, what if you're doing it? In this case, the right answer is going to be sweat equity. There is only one kind of equity shares which are allowed to be issued at a discount, and that is always and always sweat equity. And everyone, shares can be forfeited for non-payment of the calls, for failure to attend the meetings, for failure to pay the loans, or for the failure for which shares are pledged as a security to bank. Shares can be forfeited for, they are basically forfeited for the non-repayment of call money. Okay? This is done when the person fails to pay the call money. Done? Next is the following statement apply to equity preference shareholders. Which one of the following applies only to preference shareholders? Shareholders risk the loss of investment. Shareholders bear the risk of no dividends in the event of the losses. Shareholders usually have the right to vote, or dividends are usually given at the set amount in every financial year. The amount statement apply to equity or preference shareholders. So when we talk about the preference shareholders, what's going to be the answer? The preference shareholders have a preference over equity over two things only. The things that they are working upon is that they are supposed to have in terms of the preference shareholders, I can say preference shareholders are given preference over equity at 2 points. First is when we have when we are paying dividend, and at the same time when we are at the time of liquidation. In both the timings, more value is given to that of preference shareholders. That is why they are called preference. They have more importance than that of equity. Okay? So in this case, shareholders bear the risk of number of dividends in the events of the losses. Matlab, shareholders have more which of the following shareholders risk of loss of investments nahi? Then shareholders, they usually don't have the right to vote. Dividends are usually given at a set amount in the financial year. Yes, there is a set amount already. So in this case, I would go for this only. They have a certain amount. The point where these organizations really, matlab the preference shareholders do not enjoy is they do not have the voting right as much as the equity, and at the same time, the dividend that they're going to receive is already predetermined. They won't receive anything extra if the company is making extra. You will get extra only if you are not an equity shareholder. Sorry, if you are an equity shareholder. My mistake. Equity shareholder will get anything that is left. So the leftover can be this much and leftover can be just this much as well. So it will always vary if you are receiving too much amount of money or receiving almost no money. So preference shareholders are still at a better position than that of equity. Everyone, so this was all I wanted to tell you about our course, and I think we are done with a good number of questions, but I'm still not done with the company accounts. So what I'll do is I'll come up with the same chapter again on tomorrow as well. I think tomorrow is Saturday, so that means we'll be meeting tomorrow in the evening as well. So before we proceed further, here comes our courses. Anybody who couldn't attend it in the beginning there, you just have to, if you want to take up our courses are available on our website www.adda247.com. You go on to the specific area, go ahead and check it out on JIB and CIB. In the area of JIB and CIB, look at this, all these three courses are available at double validity. What you can do is take up the JIB CIB Mahapack, because I believe at this point of time, other than this, there is no other benefit that you can reap, because you are preparing for JIB, right? So why not prepare for JIB and CIB together? You take up a course, and this is basically for 2 long years. So you have entire time to clear your JIB as well as CIB. It is available for 12 months, and just because it is for 12 months, it is available for 24 due to double validity. And what's the price? You can see 82% here. Don't use the code 82%, just use the code Y541 and apply it. You will get a discount of 9598.88. So think about it, you get such a huge amount of discount. You are just have to pay less than 10,000. And at this point of time, if you are thinking about doing your JIB as well as CIB, both total, you have to pay this, because if I talk about Mahapack, includes English medium, bilingual, revision batch, concept based batch, video course, recorded classes, then test series, ebooks, then at the same time unit testing is also available, and whatever courses we are already done with, and whatever we'll be bringing up in CIB and JB, everything it would be opened up for you if you take up the Mahapack. So this is the most beneficial pack that can help you towards learning and at the same time towards your growth. So go ahead and check it out on our website and our app, and hurry up everyone. This offer is available for just 5 days. So hurry up and utilize this particular opportunity to get maximum discount and at the lowest price. Thank you so much everyone. Bye bye.